You know what I realized? I'm kind of a flagship snob. When choosing a smartphone, I always feel like I have to get the best of the best. Like my S25 Ultra. If I didn't have this phone, I know I would feel like I'm missing out. The thing is, tech has come so far, I know there's way more affordable options that could handle my needs just fine. And one of those is the Oppo Reno 14. I've had this phone for quite some time, and while the S25 Ultra has stayed in my pocket, I decided to challenge myself. For an entire month, every photo I took would come from the Reno 14. Now, considering the price difference between the two, I wasn't expecting it to be a direct replacement for my S25 Ultra, but I wanted to see if it was good enough to keep me from wanting to reach for my S25 Ultra. On paper, things are promising. You got a 50 megapixel main camera, an 8 megapixel ultra wide, a 50 megapixel 3.5x telephoto, and on the front, a 50 megapixel selfie camera. The fact this phone has a dedicated telephoto camera says a lot. That's something a lot of mid-range phones tend to skip. Now, coming from a Samsung device, something I noticed immediately is the difference in color. The Reno 14 has a cooler color temperature, and the saturation levels can be a bit reserved. For example, this bruschetta appetizer looks a bit lifeless. When you're taking pictures of food, you want it to look vibrant and appetizing. You can easily warm things up and add a bit of saturation, but it would be nice to get this type of look straight out of camera. Same thing with this shot. It just feels a bit muted. A few simple tweaks goes a long way, but again, it would be nice to see colors pop a little bit more straight out of camera. Now, once I knew what to expect in terms of color, I was able to pick up on other things like detail. All four cameras generally do a great job, whether it's a close-up macro photo or portraits using the telephoto camera, occasional selfies. Even the ultra-wide camera with only 8 megapixels does a great job. Not once did I feel like the cameras were lacking in terms of detail. I was also impressed by the 4K video quality. If you're sightseeing or just capturing moments on the go, the videos are more than enough. I was especially impressed by the video quality of the telephoto camera. That camera in general is probably the highlight of the entire camera system. We'll talk more about that later. Now, in terms of video, there are some things to keep in mind. For example, you're limited to the main camera and the telephoto camera. That means no ultra-wide videos. As far as the front-facing camera, I noticed videos can look a bit jittery at times. If you look at the bright areas in this shot, you might see what I'm referring to. Maybe the lighting was just a bit tricky because in other shots, I didn't really notice it. For example, in this outdoor scene with plenty of sunlight, everything appears to look just fine. Now, if there was one feature that had me ready to reach for my S25 Ultra, it's probably slow motion. For one, the Reno 14 is limited to 1080p, so image quality definitely takes a hit. But not only that, you lose out on even more color. A moment like this should look bright and happy. Instead, it ends up looking a bit lifeless. Now, to be fair, I don't shoot slow motion that much with my S25 Ultra, but when I do, it is nice to have 4K 120 along with better looking colors. As I mentioned earlier, the telephoto camera is probably the highlight of the entire system. The portraits you get from it are pretty incredible. It's an 85mm equivalent, which is the perfect focal length. The subject isolation and background blur looks like it could come from a professional camera. It looks natural and not overly done, which is something a lot of smartphones struggle with. Also, the telephoto camera has some really impressive reach with up to 120 times digital zoom. However, I wouldn't recommend zooming in that far unless you're taking a picture of words or maybe text. The camera relies heavily on AI post-processing, and if you're trying to read a sign from a distance, it works surprisingly well. But when it comes to other subjects like people, it's pretty bad. I tried taking this picture of a lady kayaking, and it basically turned her into a water painting. Same thing with this fish. It just looks extremely unrealistic. Now, when used properly, the telephoto camera gives you some excellent results, but for anything over a 10 times zoom, I would definitely trust my S25 Ultra a bit more. Again, for me, the telephoto camera is the main highlight, but another area this camera shines is nighttime street photography. When things are dark, it's challenging to expose for the dark and bright areas at the same time, but the Reno 14 does it extremely well. Compared to my iPhone 16 Pro Max, in most cases, I think the Reno 14 looks better. I'm not sure what type of processing algorithm they figured out, but it gets the job done. And then there's the flash photography. I'll admit I'm not a big flash user, but the Reno 14 might change that. It features a dual flash system for greater brightness. Pair that with some post-processing magic, and I think it generally gives better results than my S25 Ultra. As you can see, it does a great job of exposing the subject while maintaining detail in the shadows. The Reno 14 also does a great job of maintaining contrast while adding light. Of course, you got the usual AI features like object and people removal, which by the way do an excellent job. But there's another AI feature I haven't seen before, and that's AI Recompose. It basically analyzes your shots and gives you suggestions for better composition. It also gives you some filters to choose from if you want a stylized look. And in my experience, it does a pretty good job of making your photos more visually appealing. Another really unique feature that I found useful is the underwater mode. I honestly don't know why more phones don't have this feature. The Reno 14 has an IP66, IP68, and IP69 rating, which means exposure to water is no issue. And if you plan on capturing video underwater, you can use this mode to lock the on-screen controls. That way you can guarantee videos don't get cut short from water coming in contact with the shutter control, which is an issue I've experienced in the past. A few weeks ago, I put that underwater mode to the test. I was working on a video for the Soundcore Boom 3i, which is a waterproof speaker, and I came up with the idea to get a POV shot of the speaker being thrown into a pool. Oppo also sent me the Reno 14 Pro, which I zip tied to the speaker before launching it into the pool, and long story short, I got the shot I was looking for. Now with that said, this is something I did at my own risk. Oppo actually recommends a waterproof case if you're going to do intense underwater recording. But all things considered, this is definitely a feature I can see myself using. For the price, the camera system as a whole is pretty impressive. But like any tech product, there's always room for improvement. One small hiccup I ran into was this weird double outline effect when using portrait mode. To be fair, out of nearly 1,000 photos, this only happened to me twice. So I don't think it's a major concern, but it's something Oppo may want to look into as far as firmware. To be more specific, the 2 times it did happen, it was with the 2x crop of the main camera. So far, it hasn't happened with the native focal length of the main camera or with the telephoto camera. Now, in addition to the cameras, there's a lot to like about the Reno 14. There's the aluminum frame, the 6.5-inch 120Hz display, the 6,000 mAh battery along with 80-watt fast charging. Does that mean I'm ready to save some money and trade in my S25 Ultra? Not exactly. I'm not ready to give up the S Pen just yet, and the fact I'm a content creator, it's kind of part of my job to have the latest flagship phones. But if push ever came to shove, I could easily see myself using something like the Reno 14 with no reservations. So that pretty much covers it for this video. If you learned anything, do me a favor, give it a thumbs up. Also consider subscribing to the channel. Aside from that, appreciate you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.